We live in a world saturated with technology, where apps and websites are supposed to simplify our lives. But how often do they actually achieve that goal? How often do we find ourselves wrestling with interfaces that seem designed to confuse rather than assist? Have you ever tried to use a new app or website and felt completely lost? That feeling of disorientation, the sense that you're navigating a maze with no exit, it's a surprisingly common experience. It's a digital frustration that many of us can relate to. I certainly have. And more times than I care to admit. It's those moments when you question your own tech savviness, wondering if you're the only one struggling with something that's supposed to be intuitive. I recently tried booking a train ticket through a newly updated travel app. It promised a streamlined experience, a faster and more efficient way to secure my travel arrangements. The reality, however, was far from that promise. What should have been a 5-minute task, a simple process of selecting my destination, date, and time, turned into a frustrating half-hour ordeal. 30 minutes of my life, gone, all because of a poorly designed app. The interface was cluttered with icons, a chaotic jumble of symbols that seemed to compete for my attention. It was visual overload, making it difficult to focus on the task at hand, and menus hidden in odd places. Important functions were buried beneath layers of unnecessary options like a digital scavenger hunt with no clear map. Each tap led to more confusion, not clarity. Every selection seemed to open a new window of bewilderment, taking me further away from my goal. Instead of feeling empowered, like I was in control of my travel arrangements, I felt overwhelmed by unnecessary features. Features that added no value, only contributing to the overall sense of frustration and inefficiency. This is a common problem. Designs that ignore how people actually perceive and interact with information. It's a fundamental disconnect between the creators of these digital tools and the people who are supposed to use them. When clarity is sacrificed for complexity, often in the name of innovation or added functionality, users experience cognitive strain and frustration. It's like trying to read a book with too many fonts and colors. The message gets lost in the noise. Good design should make interactions intuitive, seamless, and almost invisible, not a puzzle to solve. It should anticipate our needs and guide us effortlessly towards our goals, not throw obstacles in our path. If you've ever abandoned a website, closed the tab in frustration and vowed never to return, or deleted an app after one use, consigning it to the digital graveyard of forgotten software, you know this pain. You understand the frustration of encountering technology that fails to serve its intended purpose. These aren't user failures, they're failures of design. They're a testament to the importance of user-centered design, and a reminder that technology should always serve humanity, not the other way around. This brings us to a core concept, the Law of Pragnanz, a Gestalt principle of perception. It states that our minds naturally interpret complex images as simply as possible. Our brains prefer order and clarity, not chaos. That's why clean, straightforward interfaces feel so intuitive. Simplicity isn't just about looks, it's about reducing mental effort. When an interface is well organized, users understand it quickly and act with confidence. Cluttered, confusing designs force users to work harder, leading to frustration. Designers who apply Pragnanz create products that are easier and more satisfying to use. The goal? Make the complex appear simple, guiding users effortlessly toward their goals. Our brains, remarkable engines of perception and cognition, evolved over millennia to prioritize speed and efficiency in processing information. This wasn't just a matter of intellectual curiosity, it was a fundamental requirement for survival in a world filled with potential threats and fleeting opportunities. Every split-second decision could mean the difference between safety and danger, success and failure. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with a flood of visual data far exceeding what our ancestors encountered. From the moment we open our eyes in the morning to the time we close them at night, we are inundated with images, colors, shapes, and patterns. To handle this overwhelming influx of information, our brains have developed sophisticated shortcuts, cognitive strategies that allow us to quickly make sense of the world around us. One of the most fundamental of these shortcuts is our innate tendency to seek out simple, familiar patterns. These patterns act as mental anchors, providing us with a sense of order and predictability in a complex and chaotic environment. The Law of Pragnanz, a cornerstone of Gestalt psychology, elegantly reflects this inherent preference for simplicity and order. According to this principle, our minds are naturally drawn to perceive visual elements in their simplest, most stable, and most organized form. In essence, we prefer stable, clear forms over ambiguous or chaotic ones. This preference isn't arbitrary, it's deeply rooted in the way our brains are wired to process information efficiently. That's why we often see faces in clouds, a phenomenon known as pareidolia. Our brains are so adept at recognizing facial patterns that they sometimes find them even when they aren't really there. This same principle explains why we can often recognize a logo even when it's only partly hidden or obscured. Our brains fill in the missing pieces, relying on our prior knowledge and experience to complete the pattern. When we look at a chair, for example, we don't consciously perceive it as a collection of separate parts, legs, seat, back. Instead, we instantly perceive it as a unified object, a single cohesive entity. This ability to see the whole rather than the sum of its parts is a testament to the power of pragnanz. In the realm of design, this principle has profound implications. Users instinctively look for the simplest, most intuitive structure in a layout. They crave clarity and order, and they are easily overwhelmed by complexity and ambiguity. If a website's navigation is jumbled, inconsistent, or overly complicated, users quickly become frustrated and confused. They are likely to abandon the site altogether. Conversely, if the navigation is well organized, logically grouped, and easy to understand, it feels effortless and intuitive. Users can quickly find what they're looking for, and they are more likely to have a positive experience. Beyond ease of use, simplicity also plays a crucial role in memory and learning. Clear, well-defined patterns are far easier to remember and learn than complex, disorganized information. When information is presented in a simple and structured way, it is more readily encoded into our long-term memory. Well-designed interfaces, guided by the principles of Pragnanz, help users form accurate and efficient mental models of how a system works. These mental models, in turn, boost user confidence, improve workflow efficiency, and ultimately lead to more successful task completion. Products that adhere to the Law of Pragnanz are not only easier and more enjoyable to use, they are also significantly easier to learn and remember, reducing the cognitive load on the user and fostering a sense of mastery. The brain, always seeking efficiency and ease, rewards simplicity with a feeling of understanding and cognitive ease. This positive reinforcement loop encourages users to engage more deeply with simple and intuitive designs. That's precisely why simple design, when executed thoughtfully and deliberately, is such a powerful and effective tool. It aligns with the fundamental principles of human perception and cognition, creating experiences that are both intuitive and rewarding. The Law of Pragnanz is everywhere in tech. Take Google's homepage, just a logo, a search bar, and a couple of buttons. Its simplicity makes the purpose instantly clear. Apple's iOS uses simple icons and uncluttered layouts, making apps like Notes or Calculator intuitive. Airbnb guides users with clear calls to action and step-by-step booking, making a complex task feel simple. Even feature-rich software like Adobe or Microsoft Office uses logical grouping and clear icons to reduce overwhelm. Tools with similar functions are grouped, and visual cues help users navigate. These companies know that perceptual simplicity keeps users engaged. Even with many features, good organization makes power accessible. The best digital products manage complexity by presenting it simply. That's Pragnanz in action. Simplicity is the secret behind the tech we love. Pragnanz isn't just for screens. It's a fundamental principle that extends far beyond the digital realm. It's a guiding force that shapes our interaction with the world around us, influencing how we perceive and understand everything from the simplest everyday objects to the most complex systems. It shapes our physical world too. Look around you, and you'll begin to notice how the principles of Pragnanz are at play in countless ways, subtly influencing your choices and behaviors. From the layout of a city street to the design of the products we use daily, the human mind's innate desire for simplicity and order is constantly being catered to. Road signs use simple shapes and symbols. Think about the last time you were driving. For instant recognition and safety, the shapes and colors are carefully chosen to convey information quickly and accurately, even at high speeds. A stop sign is universally recognizable because of its distinct octagonal shape and bright red color. A yield sign with its triangular form immediately signals the need to give way. These aren't arbitrary choices, they're deliberate applications of Pragnanz, designed to minimize cognitive load and maximize safety. Iconic logos like Nike's swoosh or Apple's apple are memorable because they're simple and distinct. These logos are instantly recognizable even at a glance because they adhere to the principles of simplicity and good form. They are not cluttered or overly complex. Instead, they present a clear and concise visual representation of the brand they represent. In product design, clear forms communicate function. A well-designed kettle handle shows how to use it. The shape and texture of the handle provide a clear indication of how to grip and pour, making the kettle easy and safe to use. Remote controls with grouped, labeled buttons are easier to use than cluttered ones. A remote control that follows Pragnanz principles will group related functions together, use clear and concise labels, and avoid unnecessary clutter. This makes it easy for users to find the buttons they need and operate the device with confidence. Supermarkets organize aisles and products logically, making shopping efficient. Items are grouped by category, and products are arranged in a way that makes it easy to find what you're looking for. This is a deliberate application of Pragnanz, designed to make the shopping experience as smooth and efficient as possible. The goal is always perceptual simplicity, even when managing thousands of items. Whether it's a small corner store or a massive warehouse, the principles of Pragnanz can be applied to create a more organized and efficient environment. Whether it's a logo, a tool, or a store layout, good design organizes complexity into clear, understandable patterns. It takes the chaos of the world and transforms it into something that is easy to navigate and understand. Pragnanz is a universal principle, digital or physical, it makes life easier. By striving for simplicity and clarity, we can create products and environments that are more intuitive, efficient, and enjoyable to use. When form matches function, users feel confident and satisfied. They are able to accomplish their goals without frustration or confusion, leading to a more positive and rewarding experience. That's the power of simplicity everywhere. It's a principle that can be applied to any aspect of our lives, from the design of our homes and workplaces, to the way we communicate with each other. By embracing simplicity, we can create a world that is more understandable, more efficient, and more enjoyable for everyone. To harness Pragnanz, designers should focus on clarity and reducing cognitive load, prioritize visual hierarchy, make important elements stand out using size, color, and placement, embrace minimalism, remove anything that doesn't serve a clear purpose, use white space to separate and group elements, improving readability, group related items together, labels near input fields, navigation links clustered logically, consistent alignment and spacing create order and predictability. These techniques help users process information quickly and confidently, but you don't have to be a designer to spot good design. Ask, is it easy to understand at a glance? Can I find what I need quickly? Does it feel clean or cluttered? If an interface feels effortless, Pragnanz is at work. Understanding these principles helps everyone choose better tools and advocate for simpler, smarter design.